Are you an aspiring photographer wanting to improve your Insta game, or just in need of a new camera? Camera phones have come a long way, but are still missing a unique aesthetic. A DSLR might work, but could easily cost you as much as $500. This video will solve all of your photography problems at a low cost. We'll show you how you can use an old film camera, develop it at Cal Poly's Photo Preparation Lab, and prepare it digitally for sharing. All you need is a 35mm film camera, a roll of black and white 35mm film, and your student ID. Warning: whilst using the lab at Cal Poly, you will be exposed to chemicals that should not be ingested. In addition, you should not use the darkroom if you are afraid of the dark. Hope you're ready to throw it back with these retro-looking photos. Prior to digital cameras entering the market in the 2000s, 35mm film was one of the most widespread tools to shoot photography. Chances are a parent or older relative has their old 35mm film camera stored somewhere and just begging to see the light of day again. If you cannot borrow a camera, you can consider purchasing your own for roughly $100 on Amazon. You will also need a roll of black and white 35mm film. Film is available on Amazon for about $8. Or you can go to your local photo store and purchase it there. Before you can begin taking stunning photos, the film must be loaded in the camera. In this video, we will demonstrate how to load film in a Canon AE-1. It was one of the more popular film cameras back in the day. First, hold the camera so that the backside is facing you. Gently pull up on the silver rewind lever located on the top of the camera. Then press the small black button located on the bottom of the camera. Give the rewind lever one last tug and the cage should open. Avoid contaminating the image sensor located in the middle, as it can cause undesired marks on your photos. Third, locate the spool on the right of the camera. There is a slit on the spool for the film to slide into. Gently pull the excess film over the image sensor and into the slit of the spool. The spool should hold the film in place. With the film still in the spool, click the shutter release button located at the top of the camera. Now, advance the film with the lever next to the shutter release. You should see the film move inside the cage. Close the back of the camera. Press the shutter release and advance the film a total of 3 times. Press down on the rewind lever if it is still popped up. The last step to complete before taking photos is setting the ISO speed. The ISO speed number can be found on the dial on the top right of the camera. The numbers are small, green, and begin with the number 100. Match the ISO speed to the number on your box of film that you purchased. In this demonstration, we are using Kodak 100 T-Max. Thus, the ISO speed will be set to 100. Slightly lift the dial and turn the camera to the correlating number. Congrats! Your camera is now ready to shoot photos. Digital cameras have made photography as easy as pointing and shooting. However, on this film camera, the exposure can be set to automatic and the focusing will have to be performed manually. Locate the f-stop ring on the innermost part of the camera lens. There are numbers ranging from 1.8 to 22. Then there is a letter A for automatic. Press and hold the small button on the f-stop ring while turning the ring to the letter A. Let go of the button and the f-stop ring should stay at A. You can finally begin taking pictures. Look through the viewfinder on the back of the camera and adjust the focus by turning the ring on the outermost part of the lens. Make sure the subject of the picture is sharp before clicking the shutter release button. The film must be advanced after each picture. The small counter next to the viewfinder will keep track of the number of pictures taken. Do not exceed the number of pictures specified on the roll of film you purchased. We stopped after our 24th picture because the film specified a max of 24 pictures. By now, you're probably eager to get those photos developed. Before heading over to Cal Poly's darkroom, you'll have to unwind the film from the camera. This step is crucial because if performed improperly, the pictures can be ruined. First, click the shutter release button. Next, flip open the rewind lever like so. Turn the lever in a clockwise motion. You should feel some resistance while unwinding. Unwind until you feel the resistance end. Open the cage of the camera and take out your film. Place the film in the canister and close it. Now you're ready to develop your first roll of film. Once you've taken all the photos on the roll of film, it's time to develop them. Cal Poly has a fully serviced darkroom and photo lab on campus available to students. It is located on the first floor of the architecture building, numbered 05, room 115. Be sure to call in or stop by and reserve your spot to use it ahead of time. Upon entering the photo lab, you will be asked to show Cal Poly ID, so be sure to bring one with you, as well as bringing a flash drive to get digital copies of your photos. The first step of developing the film is also the most difficult to learn. It involves getting the film out of the canister and rolling the film onto a spool in the darkroom. This process must be done in complete darkness to avoid ruining the film. To get the film out of the canister, use this tool to pop off the top and get the film. To wind the film onto the spool, hook the first piece of film onto the hooks on the inside of the spool. Then, slowly wrap the film around itself as shown, making sure to fit the film into each groove. Tug on the film periodically to make sure it stays fit into the grooves of the spool. To practice, find some old test film in the lab and practice rolling the film onto the spool. Also, you can ask the lab staff for tips and tricks on how to easily spool the film. The last step is to put the spool into a film box that gets sealed tight to prevent light exposure. Once you can confidently do the entire process with your eyes closed, you're ready to go into the darkroom and do it with your own film. Warning: be sure to close the door and turn off the lights completely before doing the process. Once you have the film on the spool, put it into the film box and seal it tight. At this point, you can turn the lights on and take the sealed film box back out to the photo lab. The next step to developing your film is to use the chemical sink located in the photo lab. Warning: this next step requires hands-on use with chemicals. Be careful when handling them, and if you are not comfortable, lab staff can help. In this step, you'll be using 3 chemical solutions: developer, fixer, and photo flow. The developer is used to activate the silver crystals within the film, and these crystals then project a dark image. You will need 8 ounces of developer, and photo lab staff will help you make and measure the correct amount of dilution. The fixer is used to clear off any crystals that did not react with the developer. Note: the fixer cannot be poured down the drain, so when finished, pour any excess back into the container. The photo flow is used to clean the film at the end of the process. Mix a few drops of photo flow with water into a beaker to be used to clean the film. You will also need a wash bath which continuously flows new, clean water through it. Lab staff will help you set this up. Throughout this next step, you will use this timer on the right, as well as the dryer. Once you're all set up, you're ready to go. If at any time you forget what to do or get confused, there is a list of instructions posted on the wall by the sink, as well as lab staff working that also know how to develop the film. First, open the small top of the film box and pour the 8 ounces of developer inside at about a 45-degree angle. Once finished, close the film box and tap it against the sink to get rid of any air bubbles. Now set the timer to 6 minutes. Over the course of the next 6 minutes, invert the film box every 30 seconds and lightly shake the film box every now and then. After 6 minutes, open the film box and drain the developer into the sink, and then fill the box with tap water and close it. This is done to clear out any developer that may be left in the box. Wait 30 seconds and then drain the water. The next chemical used is the fixer. Pour enough fixer into the film box to fill the box and then close it and tap it against the sink once again. This time, set the timer and wait for 10 minutes. Repeat the same process of shaking and inverting the film box while waiting. After 10 minutes, open the film box and pour the fixer back into the large container of fixer solution. Caution: do not pour fixer down the drain. At this point, the film is considered light safe and you can fully open the film box and, using the spool rack rod, hook the spool of film and lower it into the wash bath. Finally, take the spool out of the photo flow solution and take the spool off the rack, making sure not to touch the film itself with your fingers, as this will ruin the photos. Once the film has dried, take the spool over to the light table. Lab staff will assist you in turning on and using the table. For this next step, put on gloves when handling the film so that you do not tarnish the film and the photos. Unroll the film from the spool and cut the film into strips of 6 photos each. Be careful during this step to cut along the dividing line between the photos on the film. Put each strip of film into a plastic film protector and repeat the process for all of your film. Finally, you now have strips of developed black and white 35mm film. You should be able to see the negatives of the photos you took. Don't worry, they will look like the photo you actually took once they are scanned or printed. The Cal Poly Photo Lab offers both scanning and printing services, so you can get both a digital and a hard copy. They will also help you do this. In the Photo Lab, there is a digital workstation where you can scan 35mm film, copy images to USB, print, or make 35mm slides from digital files. To copy to a USB, first, take your negatives and load them into the machine labeled CoolScan 4000. The machine will run them through and they will show up on the computer where you can move them to a USB drive. To upload to Instagram, use a computer to transfer photos from the USB drive to your cell phone. Once you have the photo uploaded to your mobile device, open the Instagram app and proceed to upload your film picture to your feed, look like a brilliant professional photographer, and get a bunch of likes. And since the image is already black and white, you won't need to add any distracting filters. Once you have your photo scan uploaded to your computer, you can print from basically any printer. Voila! You now have a film picture that you've taken and developed by yourself. In this video, we showed you how to find your own film camera, how to use it, and how to develop it at Cal Poly's Photo Presentation Lab. We hope you have seen that the process of taking photos and developing them is long but rewarding. Give yourself a pat on the back. You've equipped yourself with the skills to produce fantastic retro-looking memories you can keep, share, or retweet. The Photo Presentation Lab is a unique resource on campus that deserves more exposure to students. So get back in there, share this video, or even teach a friend how to use a film camera.